So we're going to give you the final tour of the 1060 series, and I've pretty much reached the end of what I'm going to do. I might try some other things, but let's just go ahead and go through the progression. So you've seen this before, but to recap, this is the GTX 1060 EVGA. This is where I started. The first GPU I've ever used. So it's kind of my baby. A few months ago, I bought this for $50. Works pretty good. Just a little lacking in the cooling department, but it does the job. So that's a regular 1060 single fan. Then I bought another one, and I attempted to overclock it, and it didn't go well. And I was really looking to find the superclocked version of the EVGA 1060. And then I found out that there was a super clocked, which had a really big heatsink on it. And I couldn't find one for a reasonable price. So what I did was I bought a GTX 970 and put that heatsink and fan system on the 1060. Everything bolted on perfectly, runs amazing, overclocks well, but it's really actually just the same card as this. This one can get hot. This one never gets hot. So that was kind of stage 2. Then later, I bought an actual SSC, which I was actually looking for. And it has great cooling, but in review, it's not. It was the idea was better than the execution, because yeah, it runs cooler and it overclocks more, but it's not. My fantasy was not fulfilled. I thought this would be really great, but it's not. It's just more heat sinks on this, because I kind of almost did the same thing here, except the shroud is blocking the airflow here. But I got so close to the SSC with my hybrid modification that when I actually picked up the SSC, I was not impressed. Still good though. Still good. It does good things. It runs cool. It overclocks well. Actually, this has just to let's just read really fast. Okay, so this one has Hynix memory. Not good. Does not overclock well. This one, which is my actual first one, has Micron memory, which overclocks better, but the memory, let's see, the memory is not cooled directly. It's outside of the fan blowing on it. It's not cooled in contact. The SSC has Samsung memory, which is actually the best. And it's also not contacted. But it does overclock well. Samsung memory, the best. If I didn't know better, I would have just bought this to begin with, because I think I spent 3 times what this would have cost testing all of these things. But I did that for research and development, which hopefully will help other people in the future. And I discovered something also. There is an SC twin fan model. I just discovered that today. So I'm not sure what that is. As far as I knew, the SC model was a single fan. And then as I was looking for videos today, I found a card that looks exactly like this, but it's SC. So interesting. I have to find that one. And then just for, never mind, okay. Okay, so here's the winner. When I couldn't find the SSC model, I checked more reviews, and I found the MSI Gaming X, which is supposedly the best 1060 available, and I can't find one. I don't know why. I mean, they're for sale for $120, but nobody's going to pay $120 for one of these things. So what I ended up with getting, which I wasn't even looking for, was this guy. The ASUS 1060 Strix. And this was not even on my map to buy or even try. It just kind of fell into my lap. But if you look at this design, there's a cooler to the GPU. There's thermal pads there. Thermal pads there. Big heatsink. And I think, well, I can't see, I have to open it, but I mean, it's a beast. That's all I can say. I thought the SSC was the king of 1060s, and look at the difference. SSC, ASUS. More dense fins. More dense fins. Just keeps going and going and going. And then there's 2 fans here, which kind of doesn't cool in that part. And then there's 3 fans here. And this is disconnected because I didn't want the LEDs on there. And look at that. That's just massive. And the reason why this is like this, which I learned, is that the ASUS Strix was making a 1070 and a 1080 model. And so what they did was they just applied that whole setup to the 1060. So this might sound impressive, but all they did was they applied the 1070 and 1080 setup to the 1060, and it's just, I'm not an ASUS fan really, but look, it's got the back plate. Now keep in mind, I bought this one and this one for the same price. Regardless of that, the price that you would pay, it could be $100, it could be $5, it could be $500, but which one would you want for the same exact price? No backplate. Backplate. Metal. Super heatsink with more fin. This has more fins. Not so much fins. Fans. More fans. The sad part in this story is that they actually perform within, I would say, 5% of each other, because there's only so much you can do with the 1060 GPU. But I mean, just beauty-wise, like if you bought this one and you bought this one, you'd probably never tell the difference. I'm just being extra crazy with the benchmarks, but this has actually a plate in there underneath. one does not. It's just empty. See all the emptiness? See all the glory? Anyway, so in benchmarks, even though it's by a slight margin, the ASUS GTX 1060 Strix is, in my opinion, after testing several cards, the king of the GTX 1060. If you know of a better one, let me know, but I have benchmarks, I have data. This one, I don't really like these fans though, but outside of that, ASUS wins 0.1. I really wanted to have that one be the king, but it's not even close design-wise. It's kind of overkill for a 1060, but anyway, if you can think of a GTX 1060 that will beat this one, let me know. The Gaming X was supposedly the best one, but I don't think it's going to win on this. And then side bonus, this has GPU fan headers. So you can actually control fans from the graphics card, which nobody does, but points for ASUS. It's a nice design. We just got lucky because they took the 1070 and 1080 design and slapped it on the 1060. So I think I don't need to modify them anymore because nothing will beat this. Anyway, thank you for watching.